Alright, today I'll be going over the Soreya general procedures and loading commands. Very simple. A lot easier than Legacy actually. And at first glance you'll notice the same GUIs here that are also at Legacy. And for the sake of saving time, you can watch the general commands procedures video guide on Legacy to see what these two GUIs do. Now, let's jump right into it. So when joining Soreya, you have to keep in mind that there are two different types of sessions. You have the global sessions, which is over here. That is for when players whenever want to come to Soreya to train on their own time. The system automatically hosts everything, including map selection and game mode selection. And it is based around how many players are currently in the session. So if there's only one player, there would be just colors and obstacle courses that'd be loaded for that one player. If there were more players, let's say 2 players and 3 players, there'd be SFT, soccer, stuff like that. And if there was 4 players and higher, they'd start doing team death matches and so on. Then you have the current sessions behind me, which are private sessions hosted by HRs. And I will demonstrate how you would set that up and go over the certain game modes listed in Soreya. Alright, so you would approach it, click host, and you could set this to how many max participants you'd want. You'd set this to whatever rank role would be accessible to the group. So I would set it to 0 so that everyone can access it. Then you would type in, for example, TheCelvestian's training, or anything else that would be specific towards what you're hosting. Then you would click activate. And now the session has started. Then you would say join session and have them join the session. And if some people are struggling to join the session, you also have the add player GUI down here. And it is case sensitive, so you would type in, let's see, Nessie Merp 1, and watch this. He spawns in like that. There you go. And the leave session GUI, that is for the host. If you click that, it ends the entire session completely and everyone respawns back in the hollow. And then you have the options here. Now, currently, these two GUIs collide with one another, so ignore that for now, and we'll go over it one by one. So you have the colors, FFA, gunfighting tournament, gun team deathmatch, King of the Hill, practice raid, race, sword fighting tournament, sharks, soccer, team deathmatch, and timed. And I'll go over very briefly what each one is. So for colors, it's hosted by the system. It changes colors repeatedly as to how it would look like, and I'll demonstrate how it looks. Let's do that. Then you're greeted with a map selection. And if you wanted to go back to game modes, you would click this little bar down here, and now you're back at game modes. So let's do confirm, confirm, and now the system has started. Alright, there we go. There we go. And once the player falls down, they will be either declared everyone has failed, or once if they fall down, it'll declare that everyone has failed. But if they are still on the platform and the time has run out, they would be declared as a winner because they've still survived. Now let's go over free for all. Free for all, you have it also hosts this for you. All you would have to do is select the map. You would spawn in and be given 120 seconds, and the person with the most kills would be declared the winner. Now, gunfighting and sword fighting tournament have a slight bug in which the final 2 contestants, one of the contestants would spawn outside of the arena, so you would have to TP one of them inside. Alright, next mode. Let us go over gun TDM and sword TDM. Very simple. You can either select the 5 lives or the 11 live setting. In comparison to Legacy, you only have 2 options here for live setting, which are 5 and 11. However, in the near future, we might add more. And the last team standing wins the match. King of the Hill, very simple. It's like a free-for-all, except whoever has lasted the longest on top of the hill wins. Practice raid, simple to Legacy. How it works, you're given 500 seconds to either defeat each other in terms of teams, or to destroy the statue. You have race, where it's a first person to complete the obstacle course wins the race. You have sword fighting tournament, similar to gunfighting, except just replace it with swords. However, it also has the bug where the final two contestants, one of them will be placed outside of the arena, so be sure to TP one of them inside it. And then you have sharks. I'll show briefly how sharks looks like, since it's operated just slightly differently. Here we go. So now we have sharks. So now Nessie is the shark, and we are the guppies. We will be waiting inside the box. 3, 2, 1, and make sure to always speed the shark with an extra boost. So default is usually 16, but I placed it as 18 for Nessie. Same thing applies with how Legacy works. And since Yusuf was the guppy that stayed alive, he was the one that won since I was killed by the shark. Now moving on, we have soccer, team against team. Whoever scores the most by the end of the match wins. You have a regular sword TDM down here, 5 lives, 11 lives, same as gun TDM. Then you have timed, which is however many people can complete the obstacle course within the given time frame. And yes, that is a brief description of how each game mode works and how a few of them look like in comparison to Legacy. However, most of this is already hosted by the system, so there's not a lot of hands-on and action required. And since once you're done hosting the session, you would then declare it over. And then you'd click leave session. Everyone spawns here. STS. And they would go to the main lobby to STS. Alright, and then from here you would congratulate them for participating and then say that you would reward them Celvarium. Then you would open this up, type in the name of the user, which is not case sensitive. So Nessie Merp1, 14 Celvarium as an example. Then you click submit, or you could subtract from Celvarium, and then you would go to Discord, type in C exclamation mark XP space Nessie Merp1 to check his XP as an example. And that is about it for Soreya. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. And remember to stay true to your heart of gold, Celvestia.